Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Holly and I am an empowerment coach. Today I'm going to be talking about how we stop the universe from actually doing its job and how we all have a habit of fighting the universe when it comes to bringing us what it is that we are asking for, which I know might sound strange in itself, but there are two ways in which we do it all the time. And if you stay right until the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you exactly how you can tell how close you are to a huge manifestation, a big breakthrough in your life. And the secret is that we actually are all on the brink of huge manifestations. And I'm going to share with you how you can tell right now, today. So please stay tuned for that because it's really exciting. Now, the first way that we all have a habit of blocking the universe is we'll ask for something and we'll say, okay, this is what I'd like to manifest. This is what I'd like to create in my life. It could be more money in the bank. It could be a loving relationship. It could be a new job, a new opportunity, or perhaps you're just feeling stuck and frustrated in a certain area of your life and you need help, you need guidance because you're confused, you don't know what to do. So you put out this request, this intention. If you're spiritual, you might meditate, you might journal, a number of ways that you might be trying to create a change. And then that's it. That's all you do. Now, how do we block that? We block it by not doing absolutely anything at all. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. Do you have friends who are constantly moaning about the same thing? Every time you meet them, they'll say, I hate my job. You know, my boyfriend or my girlfriend, they're a complete joke. They do this, they do that. And every time you talk to your friends or your relatives, whoever it is, they talk about the same thing all the time. They moan about the same thing, the same old story. It's so predictable and you just think, oh, here we go again, you know, same old, same old. Well, that's what the universe is thinking. Every time you ask for the same thing over and over again, but you don't take any action. And we're all guilty of this. We all will sit there and say, oh, you know, I'd love to lose weight, or I'd love to, meet someone really nice and kind and have a loving, passionate relationship. I'd love to travel the world. I'd love to have a new job. We've got all these desires, all these things that we really want in our lives, and we talk about them, but then we don't take any action. So that is the first way we block the universe. If you look at the word attraction, you'll find that the last part of the word itself actually says in it action. We cannot do the same thing over and over and over again and then expect to get different results. We can't. It's impossible. If you want to create something new, you have to do something different. And you have to fulfill your end of the bargain. You know, again, back to the example of your friend. When your friend is saying to you, oh, you know, my boyfriend or my job or this or that, and they're moaning and they're never changing the story, they're just going on and on and on about the same thing, and they're not taking any action, a part of you thinks, God, why don't you do something about it, right? And it's exactly the same with us. Where in your life right now, with whatever change it is that you're trying to manifest, where can you be fulfilling your end of the bargain? Where can you be doing everything within your power to get ready, to get prepared, to say to the universe, to give out that message that says, here I am, I'm ready, I'm showing up, now give me what you've got. Bring in that manifestation because I have prepared everything in my life as best I can to allow it, to receive it. So let's say, for example, it's a job. You're wanting a brand new job, more money. Are you updating your CV? Are you, looking for these opportunities? Are you searching? What are you doing? How are you getting yourself ready? If you're wanting a new relationship, are you going out? Are you sitting in all day, every day, not doing anything? What are you doing to be active, to put yourself in that situation where those opportunities, where the universe can come rushing in and say, here we go. If you're not, then that is one way that you could be blocking yourself and the universe from doing its job. Second is that we are surrounded by signs and symbols and synchronicities all day, every day. And the way you can tell, the biggest clue of all to knowing what the universe is trying to tell you in ways of messages and guidance is by looking at the various areas of your life and thinking, okay, what is working well right now and what isn't? What's working well? Fantastic. The areas that are not working well are normally where the changes are wanted, right? Those desires. So I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to tell you and share with you a story in a minute, actually, that completely illustrates what I'm saying. Back to the action part. When we keep doing the same thing over and over and we expect different results, it's not going to happen, okay? We're not going to get anywhere. And what the universe does is it works in such a way where if we continue to do the same thing over and over, things will progressively get worse. Instead of getting better, they will get worse. And we create more resistance, which then brings up more negative emotion, more frustration, more anger, more feelings of hopelessness where we're at our wits' end. And in terms of the story, a perfect example and demonstration of this is the film Rocky 2. Now, if you're familiar with those films, you'll kind of know the gist of it. I was watching Rocky 2 the other week, and just to give a quick, for anyone who hasn't seen the films or has forgotten what they're all about, Rocky 1 is where, at the end, Rocky and Apollo, they fight, and everyone thinks, Rocky's not going to do well. He's a professional boxer, but he's unknown. He's not a champion. Apollo's going to beat him, hands down. And he doesn't, in fact, Rocky actually comes out and knocks Apollo to the ground, something that's never been done before. So the film ends where Rocky and Apollo have fought and they've done all 15 rounds together, and Apollo won based purely on points. It wasn't a knockout like everyone was expecting. So everyone's quite shocked by Rocky and they're thinking, wow, who is this guy? He's an unknown and he's done something that no one's ever done before. He's really given the champion of the world a run for his money. So Rocky 2 starts where Rocky has retired from boxing. He's getting married. His wife is expecting. He's moving on in his life and all this other stuff's happening. So he says, right, I'm going to give up the boxing. I'm going to be a normal person, have a normal job. But deep down in his heart of hearts, he knows that he's a boxer. That's all he knows. That's all he's good at. And, he's got this feeling of, he's a bit conflicted and torn with his decision. So he starts applying to all these menial jobs, and the interviewers are all saying to him, you haven't got experience, you've got no qualifications, you need to focus on, if you're going to get a job, you need to, focus on sort of labour and, the sort of jobs that no one wants, basically. And even at one point, one of the interviewers says to him, I've read somewhere that you're a really good fighter, why aren't you boxing? And Rocky says, I just don't want to. And anyway, he's getting turned down from all these jobs. He does get a job in the end, and they let him go after a while. So he's really struggling. Now, whilst all this is going on, Apollo is getting a lot of stick from the media and from the general public, who are questioning him as a champion, saying, how is it that you almost lost your title to an unknown? So he's now getting angry, thinking, right, I've got something to prove here, because I don't want people thinking that I'm not a worthy champion. This bum is really sort of embarrassing me in many ways by what's happened. So I want a rematch. I want to prove to everyone that I am the champion and that I can beat anyone. And this idiot doesn't stand a chance. What happened before was just pure luck. So what he does is he orchestrates an entire mass media campaign to humiliate and emasculate Rocky so that he gets back in the ring and he gives him the rematch that Apollo's wanting. So Rocky is getting all these signs and all these synchronicities being thrown at him where everyone is saying, come on, what's wrong with you? You're a boxer, get back in the ring. And the only thing that stops him is his wife and his trainer, who of course love him and want to protect him, and they're saying, you're going to go blind, Rocky. You can't, come on, you've proved your point. Let's leave this now. Just leave it. Let's focus on other things. But he knows deep down in his heart that he's meant to be a boxer, and he's getting more and more uncomfortable with everything that's going on in the media. People around him are talking and they're going, you know, Rocky, you're going to stand for that. You know, they're basically taking the piss out of him, and his integrity, his pride as a man is being completely pushed to the limit, yet he ignores that intuition within him. And it's only, cut a long story short, towards the end where Adrian, she has the baby, his wife, she has the baby, she's come around from a coma, and she says to him, there's one thing I want you to do for me. And he says, what? And she says, win. I want you to win. And at that point in the movie, which is my favourite part, Rocky comes alive. He completely transforms, and that spirit within him, that voice, that intuition that's been saying to him all along, come on, you know, you're a boxer, this is your destiny, go and get that title, you know, you can do this. That voice, that is the part of him then that comes alive and takes over, and he jumps in the driver's seat. And yes, you see him working hard, you see him taking action, you see him getting ready physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He's training hardcore so that he can get in that ring and he can beat Apollo and get the championship, win the world champion title. And anyway, of course, naturally he does it. Even though all the odds are stacked against him, he does it. And there's moments where, you know, he's just before the fight, he's sort of feeling obviously scared, and he's worrying, and he's thinking, oh my God, can I really do this? Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make with that story, which was a bit longer than I wanted it to be, but anyway, the point I'm making is that what happens, the universe will give you every single sign it can. It will throw at you to get you to take action, and to take not just any action, but the right action that's going to lead you directly towards what it is that you're asking. And I'm going to do a few more videos on this moving forward, because the universe works in various, several different ways in order to try to get you to act. And sometimes we don't realise what they are because the two aren't connected in terms of what we're asking and the signs we're being given. But what you have to remember is that you have to trust the universe. Sometimes we all want something and the signs that we're getting don't really seem to be on par with what we're asking, which is how we miss them, right? But if you're getting the same signs over and over and over again, and you're getting a thought that keeps coming into your head and you can't get rid of it, or someone keeps mentioning a certain book to you, or giving you a certain piece of information, a certain piece of advice, and something keeps coming at you time and time again, and you're thinking, you know, this is a bit odd, this is a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's a message from the universe that's saying to you, take notice. This is something that you need to know about, you need to hear, you need to see, you need to feel, you need to experience it, because it is a clue. It's a message that is telling you and directing you to go in a certain way, in a certain direction. So signs and synchronicities are not coincidences. They are messages from the universe, and we block them by ignoring them. And our intuition is one of the loudest, clearest messages that the universe will use to try and get your attention, to say to you, take notice, this is what you need to do, and you need to do it now. This is the next step towards what you're asking. Now, for the most exciting part of the video, how can you tell if you are close to a huge manifestation? The answer, when you are at your lowest, when you have reached a point where you feel like giving up, you feel like throwing the towel in, and you're just at your wit's end, and you feel like that's it, you know, I can't do this anymore, it's just too hard. Or you feel scared, or you feel like, you know, am I good enough? Is this really something that I'm capable of doing? Am I intelligent enough? Whatever it is, you have a moment where you're just like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. That is when the universe is literally approaching you, or God, depending on your beliefs, and saying to you, right, you have a choice. You can do what you've always been doing and get the same results and stay where you are in your comfort zone, or you can move through this fear, this discomfort, this feeling of hopelessness, whatever the emotion is that's manifested, that's negative, and you can do something different. You can take action through the signs, through the synchronicities, through the intuition that you're receiving, that you're being given, because what's waiting on the other side of that negative emotion for you is everything that you've been asking for. Now, we can do this again and again. We can go round in circles, we can repeat the same patterns, and we can have this same conversation tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, maybe when you're 80 years old. Point is that you're going to have to move through this and do something different in order to obtain what it is that you're asking. And that moment of when you're so severely low, depressed, whatever it is that's coming up for you, that is when you are that close to a huge breakthrough. Because in that moment, in that second, that is when you can go this way or that way. And it's when you need to think, okay, what am I doing here? Am I focusing on what I don't want, or am I focusing on what I do want? Where do I want to go? I want to go there. Okay, so I need to move myself in that direction. And remember, change is scary. Change is scary. And you are going to have a moment right before that manifestation, that new, fresh thing that comes in that's exciting and uplifting and amazing. You're going to have a moment where you're thinking, oh my God, can I do this? That's normal. That's natural. If we found all this change so easy, we would, all of us would be living the lives of our dreams every single day. You know, back to the whole Rocky example, the night before he goes into that ring before the fight, he's laying in bed and you see him thinking, oh my God, you know, what if everything goes wrong? I could go blind. I could die. Something terrible could happen. I've got a wife and child and, you know, they depend on me. I could lose everything. Something really terrible could happen. You know, he's got all these fears racing through his head. But that intuition, that belief is what carries him through. That's what gets him the champion's title, you know. That's what happens. Because he knows deep down that it's what he's meant to be doing and it's what he wants more than anything else in the world. That carries him through. That is what gets him where he wants to be. So when you move through that fear, when you move through that negative emotion, and you think, right, okay, I'm gonna take action, and I'm gonna, even though it's scary at first, I'm gonna step by step, I'm gonna see myself through this, and I'm gonna move closer to what it is that I'm wanting. That is when everything that you're wanting and asking for will be literally handed to you on a plate. And it is the most easiest thing in the world. And the more you fight it, the more you resist and you don't allow the universe to do its job through ignoring the signs and the synchronicities, through not taking any action, that is when things will get worse and worse and worse and worse for you. Because what you're doing is you're creating more resistance, which is creating more feelings of, oh my God, I hate my life. Oh my God, I hate my job. And you're just literally being a parrot, asking for the same things, but not doing anything about it. So those are the two biggest ways that you stop the universe from doing its job and helping you. And the biggest tip to knowing how close you are to a huge breakthrough. In other words, the worse you feel, the closer you are. And you are the only one who can do it ultimately. The universe will give you everything it's got to push you, to show you, to direct you. But ultimately, it's that fear that needs to be seen through. It's that fear that needs to be pushed to one side so that you can claim what is rightfully yours, what you're dreaming of. I hope today's video has helped. If you would like to know more about working with me on a one-to-one basis, I have just launched a brand new coaching program, which is called Ignite Your Passion and Purpose. Please see the link below for more details on that. It includes some of the most powerful law of attraction techniques that I personally use and that I've shared with dozens of clients who have seen amazing results. If you do find my videos helpful, then please feel free to share, like and subscribe, and of course any comments, feedback, leave below and I will be happy to read and respond to every single one. Thank you very much. Take care, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.